Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, find a way to win, or you find a way to lose, or you can find a way to get revenge, like Chris Eubank Jr. did against Liam Smith. Absolutely brilliant performance. He stopped Liam Smith in the 10th round. Just after another one of those flurries, he kept putting on Liam Smith. I'm going to tell you what, that uppercut that he hit Liam Smith with was a clean shot, but he just couldn't be outworked tonight, man. And it's not often you see a fighter who's able to fight from the first second of the first round to the last second of whenever the fight gets stopped. And that, to me, was the difference in the fight was, well, two things. One was Eubank Jr.'s jab, and two, his work rate. He never stopped working. He never gave Liam Smith a chance to really get himself set up and to get anything on his offense going. It was just Eubank Jr. the jab and then throwing the uppercut and landing it, at will. So going forward, Eubank Jr., he's looking to fight Kell Brook. I think Triple G is back on the table for him. And, of course, he's calling out any and everybody because he's feeling good. Now, what I'm going to tell you is, I was concerned about, Eubank Jr. going out here and pull it. No, pull, you're going to break it. Pull. That's push. Pull, boy. Yeah. It's my little man. About to break the door. It's my little man. I got these French doors in my office, man. He trying to push it. He about to go through the glass. But anyway, I was concerned with Eubank Jr. because of how he lost the last fight and the flashiness and trying to fight like Roy Jones with your hands down by his side. And those are just horrible habits. Horrible habits he picked up being trained by Roy Jones Jr. Chris Eubank Jr. has the athleticism to get away with a lot of that. But at the end of the day, those bad habits caught up with him. But he picked up Bomac. And the one thing that Chris Eubank Jr. showed in this fight, which is something that whenever, myself and other people talk about Terence Crawford, we talk about Terence Crawford being disciplined. And that is what Eubank Jr. showed. But you could tell Eubank Jr. needs somebody he needs a very authoritative figure. And Bomac was there shouting up to him. Be patient. Get your hands up. Get your right hand up. Get your left hand up. Stay busy. Work the jab. So Eubank Jr. is a guy who needs to hear a voice and someone reminding him. Roy Jones, I think, had a right game plan because Eubank Jr. looked really good in the first fight early against Liam Smith, but he was doing some stuff that only Roy Jones could get away with. I mean, standing right in front of Liam Smith with his hands down, he was making some horrible mistakes. But they tightened that up in this short. They said it was like 4. Someone said it was like 4. Eubank Jr. and Bomac only had 4 weeks together. Then I heard it was 8 weeks. Nonetheless, however much time he had with Bomac, he benefited. And it's not that Eubank Jr. didn't know how to fight before he hooked up with Roy Jones Jr. I just think Roy Jones showed him a lot of good stuff. But in turn, some of the things he was showing him would have relied on his athleticism. So then Bomac comes along now. Eubank Jr. could already fight before Roy Jones. Roy Jones taught Eubank Jr. a lot of great stuff. And then Bomac was able to come in, see the bad habits he had, help to shed that in this short period of time, and then add his own little twist. So Eubank Jr. has all the experience when he was being trained by his father, all the experience with Roy Jones, devoid of the bad habits now, and now he's getting the expertise of Bomac. And I just think Eubank Jr. going forward is going to make for some very interesting matchups. Now, as far as what Eubank Jr. can do at 160 pounds, well, this is what we got to be real here, okay? When you look at 160 pounds, right? What's there for Eubank Jr.? Now, he's calling out Kell Brook. But he just beat Liam Smith, who was ranked number 4 as far as the ring ranking. So Eubank Jr., the sky's the limit. I do not want to see him fight Derevinchenko. I think Derevinchenko will beat Eubank Jr. I still don't know about Eubank Jr.'s chin. Alim Kanuli, he has a fight coming up. Golovkin seems to be retired. Adamus is just a vicious, crazy Dominican fighter who comes in there to win, who hits very hard. Erislandy Lara, not sure what he's doing. Eubank Jr. may be able to beat him right now. And then when you come down and take a look at the ranking stack, we don't know what Jamal Charlo is doing, if he's fighting at 168 or 160. But we do know that Eubank Jr. seems to be focused on what's going on over there in the UK, because he called out Kell Brook. But when you look at some of the names here, there really aren't many realistic options for Chris Eubank Jr. as far as coming here stateside and fighting somebody, although he does have a pretty big name, and wherever he fights, there's some money to follow him. But I think you're going to stay over there and fight in the UK, and I do think the fight that makes sense for him is for him to fight Kell Brook. But congrats to Chris Eubank Jr. Bomac made a difference. Eubank Jr. having patience, working behind that jab. Look, there's nothing wrong with winning a fight just off your jab. Just win the fight. And that's what he was able to do. Kind of remind me of Ike Corte in a sense, just behind that jab, not really worried about letting too many other shots go unless he has the right distance to get those shots off. And it was very impressive to see him hurt Liam Smith, a guy who's very durable. But at the end of the day, I got to give credit to Bomac. But the questions have already started. How was Eubank Jr. able to fight from the first second of the first round to the last second of when the fight stopped? People are already saying the craziness. That Chris Eubank Jr. had some kind of cocktail. And I'm going to tell you again, if he happened to have a pharmaceutical genius helping him out and able to put together the right supplement strategy, it's fair, man. It's fair play. All right? And more fighters, in my opinion, they should do that. Once it's legit, once everything's legal, hey, if you're fighting somebody who's taking the cocktail, then you should be taking one too. You got to meet fire with fire. And from the way this fight was so lopsided, it makes you wonder if Liam Smith took Eubank Jr. serious and if he made the necessary adjustments to ensure he didn't lose. And that being said, going forward, we'll see what happens with Eubank Jr. if he continues training with Bomac. And at this point in time, I'm going to tell you, I think with more time with Bomac, with the right nutritionist, right dietitian, and with the right pharmaceutical genius, I think Eubank Jr. can make some noise. I'm not sure how much longer he has in boxing, but I think he can beat Kell Brook, and he may be able to go on and beat the other UK fighters. And who knows, he may be able to lure Gennady Golovkin out of retirement or whatever the hell he's doing, and go on and put up a good fight there. But that being said, congrats to Eubank Jr. Hey man, very good fight. Y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, also the continents, in the breeze.